Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back on our YouTube account. Already accumulated 124,000 diamonds. Now we know tomorrow is going to be Monday. Monday, of course, is going to be the patch notes. Tuesday is going to be the new hero, which is a Wilder tank. So kind of interesting to see. We knew it was going to be a Wilder. Didn't know it was going to be of the tanking class. Now overall, he looks like a lot of utility when it comes to the crowd control. Also when it comes to the tanking ability. But when it comes to the buffs, unfortunately, they are not there at all. He doesn't have any buffing, but it's kind of like a tank Arden crowd control. So pretty interesting to see there. We're going to do some summons on here. Happy Sunday to you guys. And as you can see, looking out the window, it is a little bit sunny here today, just north of Detroit. However, it is -3 degrees. That is right, guys. With the wind chill here, it is -3 degrees. Currently, went out shopping this morning. It was freezing cold with the wind because, again, it is -3 with the wind chill. Getting ready for the game tonight. It is the Detroit Lions. That is right. If you are a football fan, Detroit Lions are playing at 8:15 tonight, and it is a playoff game. So, of course, Detroit is just absolutely crazy. Let's get in here, guys. We're going to do some summons. Before we get into that, though, I wanted to talk a minute about the awakened version of Shemira, and I believe Razor said something about it earlier. So if you went into the Abyssal Expedition and if you went tank, again, a lot of players went warrior, a lot went ranger, just looking at a lot of the comments, and a lot of players also did go in with tank. Going to be interesting to see Tuesday with the new tank if there's going to be any changes to the formations. But overall, guys, the awakened version of Shemira is able to tank incredibly well. Now, again, we're already almost, 2 days into the Abyssal Expedition. But if you did go tank, guys, the awakened version of Shemira does require a considerable build out, but does incredibly well in the solo aspect, which we kind of seen in transition to some other places in AFK Arena. So she is able to, when you're stacking relics behind her, actually going through here and soloing T5s, T6s, T7s, depending on the build you have in there. So very, very cool to see. I live in Minnesota and it's -8. So you got me beat there by a little bit. And it's kind of funny when you think we're going into the negatives. So literally 2 or 3 days ago, it was like 40 degrees here, not even below freezing. We got a ton of rain, and now it is kind of crazy, guys. But let's see. So that one guy, Legacy, is here as well. Thank you for joining us, James. Brian is here. Vazder is here as well. Sebi is here, and a lot of the regular players that I see. So thank you guys for joining me for the stream. But we want to go through here. We want to answer some questions. A lot of people have questions about the Abyssal Expedition. We're also gaining levels in here. As you can see, we're already into chapter 56 at this point. So making a lot of progression in here. I also want to go through and I want to finish out the Misty Valley. We'll probably hop over to the free-to-play account. We'll play that a little bit with the Abyssal Expedition. So have a lot of stuff that is kind of planned out for this Sunday. Now, looking at our regular summons, we're kind of at a point where the diamonds we're saving. Also looking at our Stargazer Scrolls, guys, we have 378 Stargazer Scrolls. Temple of Time, we're at 167. Now, one of the questions that I get that I want to cover right now is Eugene. So we know that Eugene is still not available. If you've gotten the copies that you can acquire, kind of so far, Eugene is already at Mythic. Now, with that being said, guys, we do have, and they confirmed on AFK Arena, or Lilith confirmed that we are getting one more copy of Eugene that is going to be coming from, I believe it is the Magician's Hat event that is going to be coming up pretty soon. So that is going to be your Mythic +1 copy. Now, in addition, we only have a few more days until the guild store resets. So this is actually going to be resetting right here in 3 more days, which means you can essentially go through and you can see we have 197,000 guild coins. We're going to stack them for the next 3 days so we can actually buy out a couple copies of him, making a essentially Mythic +2 once we do get the ability. And I don't know, and I don't know at what point are we actually going to have the ability to summon him, or if there is going to be an ability or a point of time where we can actually do the summons with the Temple of Time, or if Lilith is just going to give us Eugene or just slow build Eugene through the copies, through the events that we have going on. It's going to be kind of crazy. What do you recommend to buy with real money? So if you're looking to purchase with real money, guys, when you get into this merchant tab, there's 2 really, really big things, guys. Number 1 being the monthly cards. And the reason for this is right here, guys. You do get your time emblems every day, but this is also giving you red chests. It is also giving you engraving mats. That is literally everything you need to build your heroes. you have the cores, you have the red chest. You also do have the ability to get diamonds if you're doing summons, but I would recommend getting those time emblems. In addition, the Noble Society, guys. This is another one that is massively, massively huge. Once I got to the point of having a majority of the heroes, I stopped buying this out in its entirety. Even looking here, guys, we were buying the baits out of here just based on trying to get level 18 with our resonating crystal. But looking here, guys, if we went for any of these other ones, which I don't think this is actually going to be one that I'm going to be buying going forward. So this one will go to just whatever we get for our common. Regal rewards are for the common, and then Champions of Espria, we have the common, and then we do pick up the Premier Pass in here because the elemental cores you will need forever. That is right, guys. It is going to be forever that you're going to need these cores. As we see the introduction of new heroes, they're going to be forever. And also, if you're looking to, again, do the purchases like you were talking about, looking in here at the advancement rewards, guys, getting the 45,000 diamonds for 20 bucks in the advancement rewards, that, of course, is going to be a way that you can go ahead and do your summons in here, utilizing your diamonds to build those up. Super, super important, guys, to go through here, building out your primary heroes. Advancement rewards are good, and it is very, very important. If you're looking to make progression through buying stuff, it works as well. What's going on, Sala? I am here as well. Yeah, real money, guys. Again, there's a lot of things that have a benefit, and I like the monthly cards. Both the monthly and the deluxe monthly do work incredibly well. Even though you don't get all of the rewards up front, you're literally doubling up on the cards that you're getting out of there, because when it comes to the Stargazer, and when it comes to essentially everything that you do get out of that game mode, it adds up, and it really does add up, guys. Let's go ahead and knock out some of these summons in here. Now, of course, with these ones, this is really at the point where we are just recycling most of these heroes for food. Every now and then we'll get a hero we need. There's a copy of Savius. But overall, guys, this again is kind of the point. There's a copy of Naru, that most of these are recycled. Now, even looking at the wish list, guys, we have one Lightbearer, we have two Maulers, we have one Wilder, we have one Graveborn. That is it. We have no one else to build. Everyone else within this account is already in the Abyssal, or excuse me, I just read Abyssal Expedition, but is already at 5 stars. How are we doing? We're right towards Vlad. We're on the second part. We already took the airship up, and we're getting on to the boss. We're doing really well. And again, here, I'm not showing the Abyssal Expedition. We'll hop over to the free-to-play because, of course, this is the competition, guys. When it comes to specific formations and with the Venture Run, exactly what we're doing in here. I promised when we went through that I would not show the Abyssal Expedition and really the game plan that we came up with. So we'll see as it gets a little further into the expedition. But as of right now, guys, the competitive nature of the Abyssal Expedition is incredibly well. Can you please finish Belinda to 5 stars, asking for so long? Major wants us to finish Belinda. You know what? Let's take a poll. Let's throw a poll up here, guys. Let's see if we're going to, let's start a poll. Should we 5-star Belinda? I think we need 2 copies. I think there are 2. So that'll pop up in just a minute. There we go. So should we 5-star the Awakened version of Belinda? Again, I believe we do have her almost built out, guys. I think we're missing 2 more copies of the Awakened version of Belinda, and we've just been kind of saving resource, but there's a copy of Vika. Now, Vika, of course, guys, still looking for where she's being used. I know a lot of players were kind of going back and forth on should they build her? Is she good for the Awakened version of Athalia? Is she good for Leica? Is she good in formations? As of right now, guys, we have not been seeing her in a lot of game modes. That is why I'm kind of hesitant to build her. Now, I do take them up to the Awakened because I have the desired hero summons, but bringing her up to that Awakened level, she's really been parked. I mean, even right now, we're not seeing her in very many formations, even when it comes to, and there's another copy, but when it comes to having her built out. For the Mauler Tower, again, not seeing an incredible amount of heroes that are built within there that we're seeing a lot of those. Chat got me. So it looks like the chat, we'll give it another minute or 2, guys. There's a copy of Satrana, and then maybe we'll be finishing out. And again, I believe when we did our summons last time, guys, we did get a free copy of the Awakened version of Belinda. I know we've gotten pretty lucky with those, but this does, look at that. Those 2 summons will take Vika to 1 star. Now we know that she is in the ship, and we know I have a lot of mats. So again, we're going to wait to see exactly her utility. However, looking at the engraving aspect, guys, we have 13,000 of our shards. I'm going to put her at a 30. I'm going to keep her at a 30. That is kind of where we're going to park her right now. And again, if the utility for her goes up a lot, we have her ready. We can go out there and we can build her out whenever we do need to, just based on that one. And even looking where she's placing, guys, even strength-wise, I mean, she's already up considerable. And again, looking kind of on heroes on the same scale, we took her to a plus 20. That's really all that you need, or maybe a plus 30 if you're sitting on extra resources. But overall, we're just kind of sitting on there. So friends list, we have Akira is 1 day, so nobody to move there, guys. We are still 40 of 40 on there for the friends list. What's going on, Lucila? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, right behind me. Oh, you're going to grab the airship? We're up on the airship. We've already made a bunch of islands up there, Vlad. We've also gotten to the point, I believe, that we've picked up quite a few things that are up there, which is going to be cool. Lady Simona team. So the only place that we're seeing Lady Simona is we're seeing Lady Simona actually within the treasure scramble. And as you can see, guys, G-Gox always changes his name so many times. I'm not sure. Right there is Lady Simona. So this is what we're seeing. It didn't pick the right team. Right there is Lady Simona. And it's right down here in the bottom. So right there is Lady Simona. So this is what we're seeing PvP-wise, Chrisio. We're seeing it with the Awakened version of Shemira and Lady Simona are running incredibly well together. But we're also seeing Lady Simona in a couple one-off teams kind of here and there, which is really cool to see. So when you look at the Cursed Realm in the Nightmare Corridor, there's actually a couple places in here that we're seeing Lady Simona being picked up as well. But overall, we are seeing her with Graveborn teams, and we are seeing her consistently run with those Graveborn teams. But like I said, I've seen her a couple places in here as well that she has been working into. I'm not sure if it's in this iteration, but there's been a couple places where we have seen her in here, and we've also seen her actually in the Nightmare Corridor as well. Now, with these changes in the bosses, with the iterations of going through here, some heroes are used based on the debuffs that we have in there. But I know, again, I've seen her in here. Maybe it's not this iteration, but Lady Simona has been in a couple formations in here. PvP, she's been picked up as well, and maybe I'm just missing her. But again, this iteration, we may not see her, but we have been using her. So she's been running with Graveborns. Absolutely. What's going on, Zothamus? I love Athos at the moment I saw him. However, he looked like a 30960. Yeah, most of the heroes, if you're looking at any Awakened hero, yes, it is absolutely. Where are we putting Mythic Eugene? So funny enough, Noah, is we're seeing Mythic Eugene in the kind of the same places. And I believe Eugene wasn't here. If I might have mistaken. He's showing up in some PvP. Eugene is also showing up in some Nightmare Corridor formations just at Mythic. And I thought I just seen him. There he is. So his SP effect, that is the big thing. So even at a baseline Mythic, we're seeing him show up in a couple different places, which is really cool to see. But overall, yes, he is showing up in a couple different places. We're going through Skarath right now. Very nice legacy. Yeah, Skarath we killed early. We were actually the second guild to kill him. If you look at the leaderboard, guys, Adventure Run, we were the second one. That took him out. But Mythic Eugene, again, with that SP effect, we're seeing Eugene actually, and I believe Eugene was also in the Treasure Scramble at this point, just being at Mythic for that SP effect. Makes a really big difference, guys, when you're building those out. But yeah, Lady Simona has been running with a lot of Graveborn heroes in there. Glad to see you. How are you doing? Doing great today, guys. Got all my shopping done, which is awesome. What is my favorite skin? I'm doing it, Lucila. This is probably one of my absolute favorite skins, guys, that we have seen with an AFK Arena hero. Super, super excited. I like the winter skins. It seems like the Halloween skins do pretty well, but overall, when it comes to the winter skins, I love the one they did with Lucila. Even looking at Liberta is actually, which is funny enough, because I thought we bought his skin. There we go. So we're just not using his skin. The winter skins in here are awesome. Not only for the skin and the design and how it looks itself, but I love the animation, because even when it comes to like Shemira and Damon, This skin right here, and I believe I do have it, this skin changed up the old school green that we always seen. And as you see, guys, I don't wear a ton of skins, even though I have them all. But this was a really, really cool skin when it came out to actually allow it to rain snowflakes, which was awesome. Yeah, Liberta's skin was awesome as well, which was very, very cool. That's why this is actually the second skin. I believe this is the second purchase skin that I have ever bought, which was Liberta's, guys. And I love the combination of running both of them together. Liberta with Lucilla works incredibly well. Should I plus 30 Naruko, Mulan, or Palmer? When you look at those, Naruko, I probably wouldn't race to plus 30. Again, where's Naruko? The plus 30 in here works pretty well. Well, actually, this is the defense reduction. That's right. Defense reduction on Naruko is huge, guys. Palmer, I don't think it's a massive priority to plus 30. Plus 20 on Palmer would work. And then Mulan, I feel like not quite as much utility as we're seeing with this plus 30. Well pairing, she is immune to the crowd control effects. I would probably go with Naruko, just for the simple fact Naruko is going to have a lot of utility in a ton of different game modes. Pet, summon, furniture. Yeah, let's see. So look at that. Looks like 5-starring Belinda, guys. Let's go ahead and 5-star her. Let's make sure and see what we have right here, because I have 1 copy there. We have 4 copies here. So we need 2 copies, guys. We need 2 awakened copies. Let's go ahead and do that. And again, Major has been asking for quite a while. So let's go in here and we will actually build out the rest of the awakened version of Belinda. By popular request, guys, this is going out for Major. Major's been asking quite a bit to max it out. So let's go ahead and max this one out, guys. Analytical is aiming for the top 50. Very nice, Vlad. That is awesome. And it's really a very strong give and take when it comes to the Abyssal Expedition. That's why, again, I don't want to show a ton in there, because every team has their own strategy. Every company or every guild has their own strategy. So it's really, really cool to see. So let's go. And again, this is for Major. There he is showing us the love, guys. We need 2 copies of her. Let's see if we can get lucky with this, guys, and we can pull these relatively early. I'm hoping we're not going to burn a ton of cards in here. Maybe a double, maybe a triple. Maybe we'll get some diamonds out of here. Or maybe we're not going to see anything to build her out. There we go, guys. There's 1 copy down, so we're down to 1 copy left. Going through some cards, but that's okay. We know it was going to cost some cards. And I'm hoping probably 1 or 2 more, guys. Come on, 278. That's what, 100 cards, 110? Double, look at that. I knew it was going to happen, Major. You probably knew it was going to happen as well. I figured the final pull would give us a double, which means we have another hero at 5 stars. And that means if we get 2 more copies of an awakened hero, we can actually swap. I knew it was going to happen when we 5-starred. I believe it was Brutus. Brutus did the exact same, guys. We actually pulled an extra copy in there. But that's cool. That's very, very cool. There we go. She's already at 5 stars. Do you want to proceed any further? We got a bonus copy just like we did with Brutus. Making sure that we have her built up. So there we go. I knew it was going to happen, Major. I had the feeling that it was going to be a double in there. So there we go. Because looking at our Awakened Heroes, guys, we have Belinda at 5 stars. Leica's at 5 stars. Brutus is at 5 stars. Solus at 5 stars. Thane is at 5 stars. Shemira's at 1 star. So that's essentially where we would start building them based on the stars and based on the ads. And that's what I'm thinking. The 4 swap in here, if you guys aren't familiar with the rickety cart, is right here. I have no Celestials and Hypos, but if we're looking to do an Awakened Hero, I now have this extra piece right there. 2 more, and then I can swap 3 Awakens for another Awakened Hero. So a lot of players are actually just kind of, you get to the point of AFK Arena where you have a majority of them 5 stars, and you can swap them out relatively easy. Now, a lot of players also ask about this chest. So a lot of questions about this chest. Now, overall, guys, the Mystic Star Zone is coming back. We have seen this, and we know that this is very true. Lilith has said that the Mystic Star Zone is going to be on repeat. So I know a lot of players have 15, 17, 19 shards or 19 chests out of here. Not enough to actually build these out. But we know the Mythic Star Zone is coming back, which is very, very true. What Awakened hero would you consider as a new player? As a new player, Paul, I would probably go in there and honestly build out the Awakened version of Belinda. Now the reason for this, I know Athalia, Shemira, is when you look at the build, and again, I'm thinking new player wise, Totan and Dark Lucifer, the Awakened version of Belinda works super easy and super well if you're a new player. Literally, if you have one copy of the Awakened version of Belinda, the SP effect that you gain in there is broken early game, mid game, even going a little bit later. So honestly, the Awakened version of Belinda is super strong. As much as I like Athalia and Shemira, they do require a little bit more of a build out. But overall, the Awakened version of Belinda, again, with the SP effect that you have right here, as a very early player, if you pick up one copy early of the Awakened version of Belinda, it works incredibly well. It works very well. What is the best build for Lavatoon? Lavatoon is a hero that needs the 30960. That is really the optimal build. Even here, guys, we did min-maxing, so I take him to 67. And the reason is building up the attack, and I believe we built out the haste as well, but building out specific nodes right here. We built out the insight with physical resist, but we built out the haste was the big one that we built out to take him to 67. And again, I'm at the point of AFK Arena where we do min-max a lot of heroes. So taking them past the 60 engraving, taking them, to 67, taking them to a little bit higher. Let me go ahead. I'm going to collect up some of my resources in here. I want to go through the voyage and complete this one out and see if we get anything else in here, guys. And there we go, guys, 6,000 Poke Coins. We'll go ahead. We'll do the rest of the summons. I know you guys were asking about the summons as well. Free 100, that is right, cores out of here, which is awesome. But I know a lot of players were asking about our furniture summons, which we're continuing in here. Why don't you sort the heroes by engraving? I do it by combat power. We could do it, Besder, a bunch of different ways, but overall, I can sort it by engraving. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. But overall, guys, I like the combat rating, and that's because when I go into the specific factions of what I'm building, and I feel like this helps a lot with collections, because as I've continued to build out collections for heroes, I just do it by the combat rating and not by the other one. I 5-star Athalia. Yeah, guys, Athalia is a monster. When you look at a hero that has utility in all different game modes, which of course, this one kind of sucks right now because I actually have it on Brutus. But when you look at the Awakened version of Athalia, super effective. Do you think we'll be getting a new Awakened character swap? I wouldn't think anytime soon. What's going on, Belial? Thanks for joining us. I got my Eugene to Mythic. I just got him in time for the reset. Very nice Fox. Yeah, you want to build them out. And like I said earlier, is you want to build them out a little bit earlier. But I seen a couple stones in here. Let's go ahead and pop these open. And then we'll go through and we'll finish out some other game modes. Let's pop open these. There is Nemitsu. Double Tassie in that one. And again, these are just recycle, guys. But this is how I power level the Elder Tree. Now, I know a lot of players wonder exactly how we power level the Elder Tree. Boom. I was going to say, watch this be Belinda out of there. But going through, so we're actually buying everything out of the shop. This is how we're power leveling the Elder Tree, guys, right here. So right here, we bought what's at 1,100. We'll buy the other 500 out of here shortly. Once I go through my Ascended heroes and we recycle all of these heroes that we're not using, then we'll retire them. Then we'll build them up a little bit further. Let's hop in here. Is Joan of Arc worth it? Yes. Out of the shop right now, Joan still does work incredibly well, Lucila. And the big thing is with Joan of Arc, having her built, it works incredibly well if you don't have a ton of other heroes built. Joan of Arc subs in and does work best in slot in a ton of places. If you're not, if you don't have an account like mine where we have all the heroes built out, Joan of Arc works super well in a ton of different formations. And I would highly advise building out Joan of Arc. And again, if we ever get when we get a dimensional tower, you already have Joan. I thought I could get rewarded without playing, just watching. You can if you're a Star of Dawn. So that is the big thing, Aziz. You had to be a Star of Dawn to go in there and be able to watch the Abyssal Expedition without actually playing it. So Star of Dawn is only available, I believe, honorable enrollment, and I believe for the first 24 hours. After that, the Star of Dawn is no longer available, and it's 24 hours from the launch of the Abyssal Expedition, which it's not for the launch of it itself. It is from the launch. Could you maybe give some tips for PvP? Honestly, for PvP, guys, most of you know I do not PvP, Hider. I use a lot of formations that are kind of staples within the treasure scramble. That is what I use. PvP, like the arena PvP, I just rely on treasure scramble teams. So they are really the strongest PvP teams we see. Go through and look at the leaderboard on the look through the leaderboard on the treasure scramble, see exactly what you can build out there. And this needs what? Halos and Kayleen. Halos is a hero that, again, you still see every now and then. Kayleen, unfortunately, we're not seeing at all. Yeah, but when it comes to PvP, guys, I am probably not the absolute best source when it comes to PvP because I do not. Do you recommend using collections and sort of artifacts? Yes. So yellow, the collections work a lot better than the artifacts. And unfortunately, at this point, even class-specific artifacts have been replaced in their entirety, which is kind of sad to see, but it is, it's the truth. There's a point that they have gotten replaced. So very, very sad to see at this point. Also, very good news. I got my first animated frame from Vika. Very nice. Guys, Vika has a pretty cool, very cool animated frame. What's this? No Rangers, no Warriors. Let's go in here. We'll just drop in, let's say, some support. We'll just go down the line. No Rangers, no Warriors. That's awesome. I remember the first animated frame, or the animated avatar that I got. It's really cool. They're really cool. But like I say, when it comes to the frames, when it comes to the animated avatars, you only get one. That's the big thing. What rank are you in AE? I am just under Earl. So I just need a little bit more essence in the Abyssal Expedition. I will be at Earl, and I believe I'm just north of 6,000, almost 7,000 essence right now. And again, every guild has their own methodology going through there, and we do as well. And possibly after we're done with the Abyssal Expedition, we'll go through and I'll show you what our game plan was, if it is allowed. I don't know at this point, but we can kind of cover how we did the Abyssal Expedition, also going over where we ranked. Again, we covered some of the guides. We covered Ciro's boss guide, which was awesome to see. But overall, oh, that needed Graveborn. I didn't know this one was Graveborn. I thought it was Wilder on this one. So we'll drop some Graveborns in there. I would think kind of ridiculous how good the new Celestials are with Liberta, Demia, and Awakened Athalia. Yes, absolutely, Noah. They are super, super strong. And honestly, when it came to Liberta, that the hero is broke. And again, when you think of heroes, Noah, of kind of time past, when Lucretia came out, when Lucretia came out, Lucretia was super broken. It was the exact same. We seen the same when Ainz came out. So when Ainz was actually released, Noah, Ainz was the super broken hero. And right now, Liberta is just the new version of the super broken hero. And that's kind of what it is, guys. And we've seen it through all AFK Arena that there's a point, again, it's kind of the broken heroes, and we do see them, and we have seen them forever. I just did the collection for Awakened Belinda. I got 3 skills, so one of them wasn't. Oh, that's awesome. I know, I did that same one. So I ran a collection run with just the support. So I just used the mythic or the legendary support totem, and then I used 2 blue ones, and I got the exact same loss. I got 2 collections or 2 skill levels that I couldn't use. It was a waste with one of them because I didn't run Miracle Worker. I wasn't actually running in there to really build much of anything. I was making sure that I used my attempts, and it was the exact same. I got stuck with that one. I don't think it's smart, but my brother built up Liberta, and I did Lucilla, and we borrow them, so I must build up Liberta too. That's the way to do it, Lucilla. So, for instance, in looking at what Lucilla said right there, guys, one built out Liberta, one built out Lucilla. They swap. That is how we did it, and that is how we did it since the release of the Awakened Heroes. is we got to the point, guys, where most of you know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, when it came to the awakened version of Baden, I never built Baden. And the reason was I built Baden on, or excuse me, Baden. I built Baden on my Graveborn account when we were running the Graveborn account. So I borrowed Baden every single week. No need to build him. Then we got the swap. Taylene, or excuse me, Aziz went to Baden, but I did the exact same with the swap, guys. You have to remember your mercs, and the mercenaries that you borrow are super, super, and I stress this, they are super important when it comes to the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor, because those are two heroes, those are two awakened heroes that you don't have to build, guys. It is huge that you actually have those heroes because, again, you don't have to build them. What's going on, Ali? And I'm not sure the other name. I believe it is not in English, so I can't read it. I got a double Demia from the Stargazer, 4 more Ascended. That is awesome. I did the same. I got Demia from my invite, so where we actually had the ability to invite one hero. I invited Demia as well, guys. Building up Demia. Demia is still a fairly broken hero in AFK Arena. Works incredibly well in a lot of game modes, so definitely built that. I'm hoping my first animated will be the Awakened Athalia. That is awesome. Hines was so good. Now he's not doing anything. Yeah, and that's just the power creep of AFK Arena. All backline heroes must be mages. All right, we can do some mages in here. There we go. We'll throw in some mages. Does it make a difference which path you choose for the treasure scramble? It does not. So Jaffa, when you go into the treasure scramble, you have 3 options. I believe after the 3rd level, the options converge. So treasure scramble, it doesn't make a difference because all of your paths in there, Jaffa, are going to converge into one path. So again, when you go in there, it's so very random at that point of AFK Arena. And then, like I said, the paths do converge once you get to a certain point. It's not like one path, that is your only path. There's a convergence when you get a little bit further. I have my Lucretia built fully up. Do you think it's worth engraving, rewind her? So that's the big thing. Now, Noah, you have to remember one. So think about it. When you look at Lucretia being built, one, do you have a hero to replace her within the Hypo Tower if you rewind Lucretia? What does the Hypo Tower look like? And that is why we did the video with the engraving rewind. What does the Hypo Tower look like if you drop her out of there? And number 2, what do you have to replace her if she is soloing campaign teams? Do you have another team that you're going to go in there and you're going to replace her with? Again, that is kind of up to you to take a look at your own account and see exactly what you do have to build in there and how you can build them and what are the subs going to look like in there if you go in there and drop out, if you drop out Lucretia and you do build her up. Is there a new meta campaign team? Kind of. There's kind of Primo. There is kind of a new meta team. And the one that I'm looking at, I can show you guys in a second. But the new meta team is the Awakened version of Belinda. It is in, let me see. We got a couple more stages here and then I'll show you. But it is the Awakened version of Belinda with Amelia, with Leonardo in there. It's not so much the meta team as a crowd control team that just locks everyone out with level deficiencies, essentially, is what we're looking at. So as much as the meta teams have changed, the original ones still work incredibly well. Select summons, I took Gavis and Lavatoon. Was I lucky? Yes. Guys, if you're taking an Awaken and you're taking a Hypo, that's what you want to look for, Fox. That is what you want to get. What collections do I use for Lucilla, and how much did you invest in it? Lucilla, we went a couple different ways. We actually have both collections, and it's based on the game mode. That's kind of the big thing. Based on the game mode, and I think this was just alts. I glanced at it really quick. But when it comes to Lucilla, overall, we do have both of the abilities there, or we do have both of the sets there for the collections, depending on where she is. I rewinded her, but put her at 30. She's doing good in the tower. Yeah, then that's all you need. Awaken Shemira, Lucilla, Amelia, Merlin, and Liberta. Yeah. Oh, and there's a good PvP formation from Tauntaun. Again, I don't PvP that much, so absolutely, guys, If you have some super strong PvP heroes in there, let's go ahead and collect this up. Boom. We'll do a couple more summons over here. And time is flying today. Let me make sure that we have this done. There we go. For 36 chests are done for this week. Now looking over here, change this up a little bit. Now we did have Vika in here. We could put a couple different, I'm going to put Lady Simona in here just for the simple fact that, again, we're seeing her with quite a bit of utility and we still have to build her out. I don't think we have her at 5 stars. You know what? Let me check to make sure before we collect this, but I don't think we have Lady Simona at 5 stars, but we did build her up a little bit. So she is, nope, only 1. And again, looking at a hero like Lady Simona, where it has a lot more utility, used in a couple different game modes, where again, Vika we have at 1 star right now, not going to be building her up higher as of right now. But you can see we did change this up a little bit, guys. Now, again, a tip that we talked about was getting these guild coins. So if you are lacking getting that copy of Eugene, you could go in here, get these 30,000 guild coins, possibly buy out another 15 of those shard fragments to build out Eugene. Overall, I am looking to get essence out of here. We got a couple more stones, some more Stargazer scrolls. Then, of course, we changed this from the, changed this back to the cores, and then we changed these back to the red chest versus the baits. And the reason being we're at resonating 18 at this point. So I want to build up a couple more heroes, probably bringing them up to 35 versus getting additional baits just to take those heroes or those beasts higher than 18 at this point. But we are getting there, guys. Let's go ahead and collect these rewards. Boom, another copy. I don't know if that's enough to build up if we had an extra copy of Lady Simona, which we did not. Well, let's pop these open. There's another 10,000 essence, which is awesome to see. We have another level right there that we're actually building up. A couple more stones, which there is Lorzen. Again, just another hero, not a lot of utility. Here we have 4, which we get not too bad, guys. Crescio and Naruko. I will definitely take those summons. That is awesome to see. And then right here, guys, there's a couple more. Might be able to add some more stars, which we are right on Naruko, taking to 4 stars for our tiny tank, guys, almost building it out. And again, we're getting closer to having all of those built out to 5 stars, which is awesome. I now have Awakened Belinda and Athalia. Both are Ascendant, and I'm building Awakened Shemira. You advise me to continue or change the Awakened build for other heroes like Gavis. No, guys, Gavis is great at PvP, but the Awakened version of Shemira, I would 100% recommend. Again, utility-wise, the Awakened version of Shemira is huge, absolutely huge when it comes to utility-wise, guys, and building out this hero a little bit further. We're at, what, 453? There we go. So there is, now it goes to 60. But we want to get this magic resistance, and there we go. We're going to take her to 35. Even engraving, guys, we took the engraving to 66. So a little bit higher there. We have the collection on there. We are keeping this hero at 35, and that's essentially where we're going to stay when it comes to the red chest. Again, building her up a little bit further, making her a little bit stronger. Yeah, the Awakened version of Shemira, guys, is super strong. If your guild shop prior to Eugene or the time emblems, for the guild shop, you should be able to do both. The thing is right now, guys, if you start going in here and you're building out these copies of Eugene and skipping the time emblems, essentially there might be a point where you get the time emblems. These are the only 2 that I'm buying out. I didn't even buy out my tier 4 stones for the simple fact that I just want some more copies. These are coming in time, and they do come in time. We'll just have to see exactly how much time and effort it is going to take to actually build those out. So it's kind of crazy. Keep building. Thank you so much for your time and advice. Oh, you're welcome, Ali. Thanks for joining us, man. I love how this game treats free to play. Yes. So that's one of the big things, Fox, is AFK Arena, as much as, you know, players kind of gripe back and forth with the game itself. When you look in conjunction to other places, I mean, other games really that we see out there, this game is very free to play friendly, and I've played titles for literally 30 years. Let's go in here and do our summons, but this game is really friendly as it comes free to play. I got Awakened Leica from a friendship pool. Very nice, guys. What's going on, Unnamed Dog? I'm starting to get a little bit of a glare right here on my screen. But as you can see, guys, we're building out a couple more pieces of furniture on some of our primary heroes. Lady Simona, we need to build out. Vika, we unfortunately haven't seen any, but we got 26K again. And really, we're trying to max out Gavis because, of course, the PvP aspect in there. Lady Simona as well, which there we go, guys. There's another piece for Lady Simona. That way we can actually drop them out, swap them in with a couple other heroes. There's another one for Rem. And of course, Rem, I believe the primary 18 furniture we have Rem built out, which adds haste in there. But again, damage dealing heroes. There's Lady Simona again. What does that put us at though? She's 1 away, guys. 1 away. Gavis is at 4, but she is 1 away. Again, then we can actually drop her out of there. And I think on the recycle, we should have enough to do 1 more copy in there. Let's optimize, recycle what we got. We'll do some beast summons in here too. Maybe it's going to be mythic, which it is not, guys. So again, that's just going to kind of be the recycle. But we have another mythic card that is coming up pretty soon right there. Upgrade, like I said here, I believe we have, which one? Oh no, it went even. That's right. So let's see, strengthen here. So that is haste. That's what we're looking for, guys. We're looking to strengthen up the haste. There we go. So added some more haste on there. This is the hanging furniture we want to build when it comes to Rem. But again, looking here, I'm going to build Lady Simona just to drop her out. I know we could save it for Gavis, but you know what? Lady Simona is still being used in a couple different places. So that will max her out. And we're only taking her to the 9 of 9, which there we go. 9 of 9 for Lady Simona is done. Drop her out. We can drop in another one of our awakened heroes, which I'm thinking probably Leica. And there we go. We have Gavis, we have Eugene, and then of course we're going to have our new hero up on Tuesday. We have Vika that is still in there, and we are pretty good when it comes to the optimization, and I'm loving it, guys. We're doing pretty well in here, which is awesome. What's going on, Andre? Is Kren still a meta mauler, and what is the recommend? So with Kren is not used anywhere short of the tower as of right now, guys. Kren, very, very similar to what we see with Raku. Absolutely driving force, super strong hero when it comes to the tower, but as far as formations, not really used anymore, which is the same with Raku. Not seeing the hero really used very much at all. Unfortunately, you know, we're at the point where the heroes have kind of shifted the meta. And again, a lot of these we're not seeing used. 391 right here, guys. Still looking to build out our same ones. We have 2 more of our beast food right there, which there's another one for Talisman. Boom, leaving 91, but let's see where we got Talisman at already. And again, these are just the few that we're trying to build up a little bit higher. So again, we're going to use 2 of these for Talisman. And it's funny that these are still the baby beast right there. I'm going to have to check exactly which one we're going to use this on. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm going to save this one for Talisman. And then, of course, we're building out the owl, and we're also building out, so the owl is getting there. We have 1 right there, and then, of course, the seal. Seal is just broken. That's cool, guys. That takes a beast to level 19, which is awesome. Yeah, excited for Aethys to come out. We're going to have to see, again, tank-wise, works incredibly well. Rem or Amelia, who to build? I like Rem. Out of Rem and Amelia, guys, I would probably build out Rem for the simple fact that Rem is very, very strong. And Rem is the driving damage dealers in a ton of places. Honestly, she is such a strong hero. Campaign formations, a lot of places, you know, Amelia sees a lot of utility as well. But if you don't have Rem, you're going to change up a lot of your damage formations right off the bat without having this hero. Again, because of the damage that Rem puts out, it is very, very impressive with how much damage that she puts out. Just finished Awakened Sophia to Ascended. Should I do Matria or Gavis? That's a really tough choice. Honestly, Matria has more utility than Gavis. Gavis is still new though. That's the big thing. Great day. I would probably wait. Now Gavis, of course, we're seeing utility with him within the PvP aspect. We're seeing him in some formations, but overall, 1, are we going to have the ability to actually summon Eugene pretty soon? And 2, we know Matria is still being used in a lot of different formations, but the question is really for how long? Honestly, it's kind of broken. Is Rem engraving 80 worth it? In my opinion, no. I don't really engrave. I've engraved, I believe, 2 heroes to 80 since I've had them. I just tweaked them out a little bit further. So doing 63 right here, which of course added the haste and the physical protection. We could even build up some more of the attack in here. Personally, I don't find the amount of resources to get to 80 really worth it short of PvP. That's really the big thing, is short of kind of the PvP aspect. Treasure Scramble, you know, doing more damage, things of that nature. I don't take many heroes. And again, looking at our engraving, guys, I have 2 heroes that I took 280. And they are 2 very, very big Awaken Driving Force heroes that we really go in there. Can Awaken Sophia be used in the Nightmare Corridor? Latan, not too much. And the reason is they die too fast. So when you look at some in the Awakened version of Sophia, can she be used in there? Yes, but the Nightmare Corridor is time-based, meaning if you're putting a lot more damage out there, you're going to burn through the bosses really quick before Sophia can even ult for a majority of the time. That is the way that really works. Tricia or Eugene? Eugene, you'll only get to a certain point, guys. Tricia is one that I feel a lot of players overlook the power of Tricia. And Tricia works well. We actually took her up to that 60 engraving. So definitely works well. Thanks for your channel. I got back into the game after 2 years. Oh, you're welcome. So yeah, is there any tips, guys? There's the Awakened Heroes. It's kind of crazy, guys. Honestly, stick to the tier list. When we put out our tier list every month, you can cross-reference the tier list with the majority of the short videos with how high to build them for kind of the minimal level, the optimal, and then the whale build, depending on where you're building them. I purchased Rem and exchanged Amelia and just got them both to Awaken 5 stars. They're both super strong, guys. Even when you look at the heroes that we have currently in the dimensionals, Rem and Amelia are the 2 strongest, period. That is by far, guys. These are the 2 strongest heroes that we have in the dimensional faction that will absolutely crush it. A lot of support heroes, of course, when you look at Albedo, when you look at Merlin, there's a lot of support in here, but overall, those 2 are the big priorities to really build. What are some good heroes for the Nightmare Corridor? Nightmare Corridor, guys, I rely on and I look at when it comes to what are the leaderboards. So when you look in here, even looking at Blossom, which we've used for quite a while, this is the way that I built it, and I'll give you kind of a tip, especially coming back to AFK Arena. Number 1, do you have access to the damage dealers within the game mode? For a lot of players like Olgath, a lot of players are not going to have Olgath, but a lot of players will build out Liberta. Liberta is a primary hero. Now, looking at this formation, if you have Liberta, do you have the collection that goes on Liberta? That is kind of the stage 2 of it. Do you have 1, the damage dealer? 2, do you have the collection for the damage dealer that you're using? And you can literally go through these and see, even here, the original version of Taylene. Do you have the ability, or do you have the hero built, or can you, by chance, merc the hero to use in this game mode? That is kind of the big thing. So again, looking in here, the Awakened version of Athalia, that's why we built her up a little bit higher. Super strong in this game mode with burst damage. And then, of course, we have Crescio in here with Brutus, 2 very strong heroes. Again, can you build them? Can you merc them? Scarlet still seeing a huge presence right here, which is awesome. And again, the Nightmare Corridor is built around speed, is built around burst. That is really one of the big things, guys. So if you have Scarlet ult and then Orthos stops time, Scarlet being the strongest is going to continue to move, continue doing damage, continue to ult. And the same here, guys, which is kind of interesting because the original Baden is the best one in there, but we have Tricia and we have the Awakened version of Leica. Very, and again, looking here, do you have these? Do you have the collections built on the primary damage dealers? Which when you go through there and you look at probably the top 7 to 10 heroes within that game mode, Quam, you can cross-reference it and it correlates in almost perfect synergy with what we have on the tier list, because a majority of the top damage dealers that we see within this game mode of the Nightmare Corridor are the same heroes we see within the Cursed Realm. So looking here, there's Matria, there's the Awakened version of Belinda, there's Sophia, and again, some variations in here. Some of the heroes overlap. There's Gavis, look at that. Almost 2 billion damage in there. And then the final formation is hidden. But of course, with this game mode, see, there's Liberta instead of Gavis. So if you don't have Gavis built, a little bit of changes in there. And again, this was actually used in 1 and last time. They're still running Baden in here. So depending on, again, who you have built, where you have them built, and what heroes can you borrow, makes a big difference depending on the boss that you're fighting as well. I got 1820 engraving. Oh, reset. The reset Awakened Solace E100, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, that is is Shemira worth it? Yes. The Awakened version of Shemira is absolutely worth it, guys. This is a very, very strong carry hero. Again, utility-wise, got a lot of places. Dropping Magic Pierce, yes, I know. I did the same, Andre. So there's been a couple collections that I've actually picked up that I had the ability to get like a red Magic Pierce, which didn't make a difference. Now, we were talking a little bit earlier, looking at some of the meta formations. Guys, this is one of the very, very strong ones. And look here, we have crowd control, and you'll see how easy this is going through here because boom, instant crowd control. Amelia in the campaign is broken. Literally is broken because, of course, the energy regeneration is going to come out with that. The awakened version of Shemira is going to keep people alive in here. Brutus crowd control, Amelia crowd control. Then, of course, if you get Belinda to ult, Belinda's damage just goes through the roof in combination with Shemira's damage. Boom. Just burns down all of these divided, essentially, adds that we have here, or all of the shadows that we build with Shemira. Boom. The ultimate abilities here, again, are just broken with the damage. So we got through that one. So looking at the damage, look at that. 543 billion damage right there. The awakened version of Shemira 202. Even looking here, guys, 179 billion. That's right, guys. The Slumbering Seal put up almost as much damage as the awakened version of Shemira and did more damage than pretty much anyone but these two with the Slumbering Seal, which again makes it kind of a broken formation. But the Slumbering Seal is still a very, very broken pet. Is 1 star enough? Yes. Again, normally short of being competitive, even looking here, guys, 1 star on the awakened version of Baden, 1 star on the awakened version of Shemira. That is where I build them. Now, once you do get to a point where you have all the awakened heroes, you have a majority, if not all of your primary meta heroes kind of built, then you can add on, then you can kind of build a couple more things out of there. But overall, when you look at building them out, you're kind of getting to the point where you might want to min-max them, adding stars. But again, either you're going to use your resources right now to build up the heroes you have, which is going to forego, you're not going to have the resources to actually build the heroes later on within AFK Arena, which that's why I save. That is why, you know, I could go through here. We could use a lot more of our diamonds. Congratulations, Boxer. Got 3,000 diamonds there, but we could use our diamonds. We could add a lot more copies of different heroes. Temple of Time, we could do the same, guys. We are saving these for the next Celestial or Hypo hero that we have. Also saving our diamonds for this right here. So we know, again, the new Wilder tank is coming up on Tuesday. Tuesday, I'm going to do my 8 summons for him, which is going to give him, give us to him already ascended. So he's going to be all the way built up to ascended, which is really cool because then we will have him in there. Is there an alternative to the OG Baden on the last boss? There's yeah, just different formations. But if you go through, if you look at your recommendations, there's a couple different formations that are not running the OG Baden, which was, I believe, was it the Nightmare Corridor? Might have been the Nightmare Corridor for the OG Baden. Yeah, there's a couple. If you go through the leaderboard based on what you have, dropping out Baden, there's usually a couple that don't run Baden or don't have Baden built that we see a few, or even looking when you challenge in here on the recommendations on not having him built. Even here, guys, I built out Baden. We've actually had Baden, if you guys remember, way far ago, guys. Baden was actually broken in an Abyssal Expedition that we played forever ago. That is the reason why I built up Baden and why we haven't built up to where he is he was really broken. What's going on, Jordan? Thanks for joining us for the stream. Yeah, it was definitely the OG Baden, again, on the last boss. If you're not using it, there's a entirely different formation. But again, this was one that we built a long time ago because it was broken. There was actually not really a bug or an exploit or anything like that, but there was a way to actually have, and again, most of these skins I don't wear. It makes it really hard to identify what hero you're looking at here with the skins that we do have on here. Again, most of these, we just use the originals. That way I know exactly what it's always looked like. What mode is Lava Toon good for? So Lava Toon is used everywhere, guys. Lava Toon is a hero that falls into the SSS. When you look at the Awakened version of Belinda, when you look at Athalia, when you look at a lot of different game modes, They absolutely is used a couple different places. And again, seeing some pretty good utility for the hero overall. Salaval, do we have an applicant? Tiny Floofy is chilled out. We'll go ahead and I've done this forever, guys. And look, he's online. So we'll go ahead the Arcane Labyrinth. And this one's really good because you get extra tokens, which is good. But definitely, if you're in the stream, I don't know if you are. I've mentored. I think we're almost to 10,000 points already. So if they ever add anything, I will always mentor anyone if I don't have somebody in there. If they want to play, guys, definitely the mentor is always open. Lady Simona and Gavis. So overall, Lady Simona starting to really find a footing in a bunch of different places. We actually just took her up to this 9 of 9, which of course is going to negate shields. Massive, massive shield negate in the PvP aspect, which makes her super important. Then we're also seeing her in some iterations of the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor. So again, we built her out. You can see we built her out pretty high. Definitely have to get a collection on there to change it up. We have a couple in here continuing to farm out the collections and building them out. But Gavis the same. We're starting to see Gavis used in a little bit of utility. A couple different places that we're actually seeing the hero, and overall pretty impressed with how the heroes are working. Olgath or Kanisa and Rook to Stargaze. Out of those two guys, honestly, probably Olgath. The reason being Olgath, both of them are very strong. Now, if you can borrow Olgath, I would definitely go in for Kanisa and Rook. I feel like Olgath is going to be one damage dealer that we're going to see probably replaced relatively soon. But even looking right now in the Abyssal Expedition, guys, Kanisa and Rook is super, super strong. Both of them are seeing utility. But again, when it comes to Cursed Realm, when it comes to Nightmare Corridor, we're seeing Olgath used in there. We are not seeing Kanisa and Rook used in there at all. So a little bit disappointed, but overall, guys, again, not seeing a ton of utility with the hero. But looking in here, guys, I'm happy. I'm super excited, actually, for where we're at getting into 56. I'm going to continue going through 56. Everything is done, guys. All of our voyages are done, even all of pretty much everything that we have within AFK Arena on this account is done. And I do that intentionally because of the Abyssal Expedition Ghoulish Gallery. Still getting a couple more summons in here. We know we picked up that perk card because essentially we're not buying out the Noble Tavern as much anymore, but we can go in here and we can do our summons. We got our wish list all set. And looking here, guys, the Bizarre Totems we are saving. This is actually a pretty strong one. So is this one, the Attack Full Attack. So we're going to have to go in here. But what I'm trying to do right now is get to the point of getting 36, but ultimately getting to 40. So I need to use 9 more of my legendary Bizarre Totems to hit 40. Once I hit 40, if I use 2 mythic, I'm going to get, or 2 cards, 2 legendary Bizarre Totem cards, I'm going to get 2 mythic abilities on top of anything else that the cards are bringing us. That is the reason why we wanted to. What's going on, Gum? Which is most important for Shemira, the 930 or E60? All of them. So sorry I didn't see that, Gum. When it comes to the Awakened Heroes, and this is really the big point, when it comes to the Awakened Heroes, you have to think of it kind of in builds of 24% or 25%, kind of based on the builds. Because essentially, guys, if you don't do the signature items, you're missing all of these abilities. If you don't do the furniture, you're missing these abilities. If you don't do the engraving, you're missing these abilities. You have to build all of them. You have to build them, Gum. You have to build up 30960. So the plus 30 signature item, the 9 of 9 furniture, the 60 engraving is the minimum investment really for the Awakened Heroes. Because like I said, if let's say you do a plus 30 signature item, 9 of 9 furniture, you decide not to engrave the hero, 25% of those heroes' abilities are missing. They're gone. You're not going to have the ability. You're going to be missing a quarter of your champion, a quarter of your hero, because essentially you're not going to have the ability to go through there. Is Ulna signature 30 required? Ulna is not. Ulna needs the furniture. Plus 20 is really all that you need in here. And again, it's cheap to build, but this helps. When the health dropped below 50 for the first time, Winter Call will be triggered. That is going to give her the immunity. But again, basic line, a 209, the furniture is what you really want, is this one, this Winter Call ability. So is it required? No, not required, Honey Badger, but definitely is a very nice to have, because there's actually going to be a point where it does make, and it is very effective with the plus 30, again, because this is going to keep her from getting bursted down and killed. But of course, this one is going to go on the other hero, so a lot of players don't run it to a point. But again, is it required? No. Is it really good to have? Yes. You recommend building Leica before Athalia and Belinda? Shemira is done. I would build Belinda or Athalia. Honestly, before I would build Leica, and again, just thinking utility-wise, I would probably build up Belinda or Athalia first. They work incredibly well. Absolutely incredibly well. I stopped playing for a year, and with any new champs I should focus on. Who is first? So if you're coming back, Known Trap, first, number one priority if you're coming back is building Liberta. This is probably, again, driving force when it comes to utility-wise. Liberta is still broken in a ton of different game modes. Utility through the roof with this hero. Definitely building out. Liberta is good. Lavatoon is good. Athalia, Belinda are very, very strong. Again, Lavatoon is another one. A lot of utility with the hero. Lucilla is very strong. And again, looking at the tier list, check out the tier list, guys, on the YouTube page. There's about, I think, around 8 heroes, maybe 10 heroes in that SSS class, because we're seeing them utilized utility-wise in almost every single aspect of AFK Arena, which of course is huge, guys. Now let me see, I'm going to do our membership gifting. So let me scroll down a little. We're going to do our membership gifting. I love doing this every single time, guys. We do the gifting to someone who is in the chat. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to do that. Unfortunately, this one, guys, we got no new members. We got no subscribers, but we did get our membership right there. And again, this is kind of the give back that I do for you guys every single week. I love doing the gifting of the membership. It is really cool. And Aziz, congratulations on being the membership. I love seeing the little hippos right next to Jordan's name and Primo and a couple of you other guys. Really, really cool to see the memberships and the hippos on there. But again, we're making a lot of progression overall. Abyssal Expedition wise, again, we're getting towards that last boss. We are pushing it a little bit further with a dedicated methodology that will probably show eventually, if we show it ever. Because again, being competitive in the Abyssal Expedition, it is kind of a different build than a lot of people really do have. Thrilling Voyage, of course, pings up with nothing in here but the zero limit. I don't do the zero limit. Even beast rearing in here, guys, we have all of this done. Not going to buy the bundles. It pings me for the bundles as well. Not going to pick those up, guys, but very cool. 56-2. I'm, again, just excited to see. Still following Cats Go Meow. Making a lot of progression in there, guys. Let's turn this on 4 times speed. I think you rate Awakened Athalia a bit too high. She personally feels useless. Than Awakened Leica or Sophia. So Chip, the big thing is, guys, there's a lot of tier lists that they've been running for an incredible amount of time. And the tier lists go by utility. So when you look at Athalia and when you look at a lot of different areas of AFK Arena, so think of it, when you think of, is she being run in the Twisted Realm? For the Awakened version of Athalia, is she in the Twisted Realm? Yes. She is in some iterations of the Twisted Realm. Is she in the Cursed Realm? The answer is yes. Is she in the Nightmare Corridor? The answer is yes. Is she in the Treasure Scramble? The answer is yes. Are we seeing the Awakened version of Athalia run in the campaign? 100%. Is she in the Celestial Tower? 100%. Are players running her within the Temple Rift? 100%. That means Chimpanzee, the Awakened version of Athalia is still the only hero based on the tier list that we've been running for years at this point. The Awakened version of Athalia is used in every game mode, period. That's the reason why she is put so high, is because when you look big picture at like 6 rotations of the Nightmare Corridor, she's used, I believe, out of 5 of 6, if not 6 of 6. That's one of the big things. Is the utility of the hero itself and being used in every game mode. Even a lot of game modes, she is used as the literal primary damage dealer within the formation, meaning that if you don't have that Awakened version of Athalia, you are going to do a different a different battle altogether. And that's really the big thing. It might be the Nightmare Corridor on this one. But again, when you look, a majority of these are running the Awakened version of Athalia. I think this is the only one with Shemira, which is the weird one. That is kind of the one off. But even here, I believe Blossom was running in this one right there. So if you don't have the Awakened version of Athalia in this mode, it's an entire different formation. So it does kind of change. How do you turn off the alt animation? That is actually right up here in settings. Down here, right there is alt animations right there. That is how you turn off your ultimate animations, Latan. They're actually changing this in the patch update. It will only trigger once per hero per battle with the update, but that is where you do turn that one off. Hey, I can get 3 totems from Pity. Would it be 3 best totems for a perfect Rem? So Rem within here, there's 2 you have to run. If you're looking for a perfect Rem formation, that is Miracle Worker. That is the plus level. Those are the 2 guys. Now, when you look at Rem, when you look at running this one, specifically the Shadow Dancer, you want a level 3 Shadow Dancer, and you want it with attack and physical pierce. Those are really the big 2, but you do want a level 3. So to get a level 2, or essentially, 3 stars or a level 2 collection in here, Miracle Worker has to be a must. Level has to be a must. If you have this card, that is going to be your guaranteed only way in AFK Arena to guarantee a level 2 collection is using this card in conjunction with these 2 will guarantee you 100% a level 2 collection rate here, which means going to be very strong. Now, if you do have that card, this one, of course, you can go in here with something like this. That is going to be the physical pierce to increase the probability of that. But now with these cards, you can only use 1. But the good thing is, if you're running this combination within here, if you have this as a backup, so let's say you run it through and by chance you do get the ability or you do get an extra level in there, then you can save this card. You can use it at a later time because you got lucky with the RNG factor to actually pull by design another level, and you already have the Miracle Worker in there. That is the big one. How do I get more custom attack scrolls? You mean these ones? So this is on repeat. So that is the way it works. I don't know if you've gotten there yet. Honey Badger is when you get to 36. So once this hits 36, this bar starts over at 0. That's the big thing. So this bar actually starts back over at 0. And then, of course, 9, you're going to get another scroll here. 18, you're going to get another scroll here. 36, you're going to get another scroll here. This exploration buff is on repeat. It'll just keep going in a circle, guys. As you continue to use these totems, you are going to get these cards and level up these cards as you continue through here. I need some good comps for Athalia and the Treasure Scramble. I need 1 more copy and I will be done with her. There's a lot. Look at the recommended in there, guys. There's a ton in there. Where can I find a list with best in-slot substitutions? There's a couple that I cover, and I might be able to cover them tonight. We get them off the Chinese server now. We used to get them from Cursed Friends. They don't do it anymore. Just like a lot of guide workers or a lot of guide makers. We don't really see them very much anymore. So it's kind of tough. What's going on, Carol? Thanks for joining us for the live stream. Awesome to see you out there. And again, it seems like a lot of players that we normally see are not showing up today, but I know there's a ton of stuff going on, guys. Real life takes precedence over watching me in AFK Arena on YouTube when it comes to the Sundays. And look at that. We have 1 subscriber. Thank you, Craven, TY Craven or Ty Craven. Thank you for joining us. That is our new subscriber. We are almost to 37,000. I think we're getting there, guys. Even on the finance channel, we're almost to 61,000. So it's kind of crazy. I see, kind of wish it would reset. Now, I like this ability. So when you're going through here and you're actually building these out, guys, the 40 and the 80. Now, I believe in addition, good thing is, Honey Badger, is when you get to the 40 and when you get to the 80, I believe those stay, period. I don't think this has a reset on it as far as I'm aware. There isn't a reset. So there's going to be a time and point, even if you are an absolute free-to-play player, that you are going to get this and you're going to essentially get to the 40, get to the 80. You're going to be able to build out a lot of your collections faster because you're going to get to the point of actually having the 40 and the 80 done. Right now we're at 31, so I have to use 9 more to get to the 40, and then we'll be able to build out much stronger collections in the future based on using those totems. Now, the big thing is they need to fix a way or actually have an extra way to pick up the staffs. That's one of the big things, guys, is being able to pick up these staffs. They need a better way to get these. Right there, we just dropped 6,000 diamonds on staffs. The rest of these I'm not buying because we're picking up that perk card, but having the ability to get more of these staffs, sort of buying them from diamonds, in my opinion, guys, they need to just put them here. Put them in AFK timers, even if it is 1 a day. You know what? That's 1 more than we were ever getting, which I would love to see. Any new Wilder, any good? Seems like there's going to be some modes, Carol, but overall, my thought on the new Wilder before we conclude here, guys, is very, very strong at tanking, very strong with the defense mitigation, very good with the crowd control aspects. So similar to Arden, we see, you know, the ability to have a lot of crowd control in there, but overall, he doesn't buff the team. So we're talking probably campaign going to work well. A couple other game modes like Temple Rift probably going to work well. Treasure Scramble possibly for that crowd control mitigation aspect. But when it comes to Cursed Realm Nightmare Corridor, I don't think we're going to see him at all in there. Again, because he's not bringing a lot of buffs to the team, it's going to be a little bit of difference. Where can I find the best guide for the collections? Let me pull it up really quick, guys. I actually have it on the Google Drive. I have a couple different things on there. I'll put a link in there before we're done. And this was actually shared, I believe it was a combination of a couple different players in here, a couple different sources, but we can go ahead and link this one up. Make sure you save it, guys. But that is a Google Doc that is in there, and that is where the collections are housed. That is the guide that I have in the Google Docs for the collections. And again, it changes depending on the hero, depending on the game mode. But that is really the thing that I've been using as a general guide to build them out. Now, again, guides aren't going to be set in stone. It's not, you know, a blanket for all of the heroes. But overall, that one does work incredibly well as a general guideline, because most of the runs that you do with the Ghoulish Gallery, you're not going to get 100% all of the red, you know, not all of the mythic relics. It's going to take some time to build these up. And we know, again, you're not going to see 100% of the perfect builds in there. And I haven't seen any of the perfect builds because, again, we're really not high enough. And I think it might have crashed with the Ghoulish Gallery. But all right, guys, so that is going to do it for our Sunday video. Definitely thank you for joining me for the stream. Again, I figured this was gonna happen, so it will restart here. Every now and then with the Abyssal Expedition, every now and then with the Ghoulish Gallery, it does this exact same, guys, where it does kind of crash to reload. I don't know what's going on with it, but again, guys, thank you guys for joining me for the Sunday stream. I love being able to talk to you guys about AFK Arena. Check out the finance channel, guys. We're over 6,000 subscribers over there. Trying to get those watch hours to monetize that channel as well. So any help and support that you can send over there, absolutely, guys. Now, most of you know, in real life, I am a financial counselor. I am a bank center manager. I do work with a lot of individuals on the finance aspect. That is the reason why we started the finance channel overall. And I know a lot of you have checked it out. It's really, really cool. It's something that I love to do, that I'm really passionate about. And the channel is doing very well. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for our Sunday stream. Like I said earlier, thank you guys for joining me. Have a great Sunday. Getting ready for the game. The game is actually coming on 8:15 tonight. So the stream is done, guys. Go enjoy your Sunday. And as always, thank you guys for watching.